Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Wildcat Tradition. Well, Wintersville week was a big week for us last week, and it ended on a good note for the Valdosta Wildcats on Friday night, as the Valdosta Wildcats were victorious over the Lowndes Vikings by a score of 16-7. Coach Hyder, we'd already won the region, but yet it's always nice to get another victory, and against our crosstown rivalry, Lowndes Vikings. Congratulations.
Thank you, Calvin, but let's congratulate both teams because it was a well-played game. Both teams fought extremely hard. I think Lowndes came in very well prepared, and the fans were treated to an outstanding football game. And most folks in Valdosta and Lowndes really enjoy football, so I think for those people who study it closely, they would have to say they enjoyed the game very much.
Good. Why don't we just go right into the game highlights, and let's take a look at how Lowndes started out real good, and then the Wildcats, as they've done several times this year, they came from behind and played extremely good football, both on offense and defense.
All righty. Well, of course, Lowndes won the toss, elected to defer. We elected to defend. They elected to kick off. So everything, the full string ran out there on the decision to start with. They kicked to Carlos Moore. He returns the ball up close to the 20-yard line. We make a first down and then bog down on the second effort for a first down. And Steve Harmilio makes the first punt of the game. And right here, we begin to get in trouble. We have a late hit out of bounds, and we are guilty. The alert officials did a good job in calling that, and we didn't want it to happen, but we had a very alert, or a young man that wanted to maybe be a little bit too aggressive there. Trampus Rice made an early tackle there, and there's, I believe, Trampus again. And here comes Jeffrey Thomas, fine quarterback from Lowndes, a very outstanding athlete. Moves down somewhere around the, steps out of bounds there around the 16-yard line, but they detect holding. And right here we get another situation. One of our young men attempting to block the punt roughs the kicker. And that gives an automatic first down to Lowndes, and that's the second. That's the second penalty we've had. And here we have an opportunity for a break, but Lowndes recovers this, and I believe that's Chris Wright. And here Jeffrey Thomas runs wide and goes out of bounds. And the third penalty, and you can see we get the face mask, and that one would make it about a half the distance to the goal down there and there. So that's nearly 40 yards in penalties. There goes Chris Wright running extremely hard, tackled by Leroy Williams, and there's Marshawn Lane, number 33, and Dexter Daniels making that tackle, linebacker, and in. And here goes Chris Wright running tough again. There's Marshawn Lane, 23, making that tackle again. And here's the touchdown. And we have him around the 5. That's Chris Wright, but he runs tough. A great job, and a touchdown earned by the Lowndes High School Vikings. This is Carlos Folsom returning up to around the 28. And here we change over to the second quarter, and remember the score is at this point 7-0 in favor of Lowndes. And here we punt. Steve Harmilio punts to I think that's Jeffrey Thomas fielding that punt. And here Clay Washington breaks for about a 7 or 8 yard gain and fumbles, and the ball was stripped loose there, and I think Marcus Moss recovered that one. And here, Alton Hitson rolls out and hits Carlos Moore for a very fine catch there for about 18 or 19 yards. And we're moving into about a little over 4 minutes to go. Here's Kendrick Patrick running behind Bucky Allen and Reggie Mitchell, 34, Bucky, 59. Lowndes is detected for a piling on penalty. And we get down where Dow Drury kicks a 40-yard field goal. Alton Hitson held it, and Brian Sales made the snap. Time to punt again. We had a situation there where neither team moved the football, and Steve Harmilio kicks the ball down to around the 8-yard line, and a very important factor in the ball game. And so the score at halftime was 7-3. Here, our very fine band, along with a very fine band from Lowndes, performed, and our fans were treated to a wonderful halftime show, as well as both bands simultaneously or together played the Star Spangled Banner to start the football game. And that was a thrilling combination of talent right there with Mr. Steve Hankla, the director of the Wildcat Band, and Billy Martin, the fine director of the band from Lowndes. Now it's time for the second half. Lowndes has the option. They elect to receive. Dow Drury kicks off to the 15, and tackle is made by Leroy Williams, number 22. And Jeffrey Thomas, they're in the shotgun formation that they use, and here we have a good hit here by, that would have been Jonathan Davis, number 45, and a good catch there by Chad Cowart. Lowndes is tight end, very fine tight end there from Jeffrey Thomas. Third quarter now we're in, and this Clay Washington breaking for a nice run there before Trampus Rice, number 28, junior cornerback, makes the tackle. A fumble there recovered by Jeffrey Thomas. There you see our coaches, Jerry Don Baker on the side, a very fine line coach, and Charles Tarpley. And this is Tim McLean, number 91, who did a fine job there on that tackle. And there's Trampus Rice again, who makes the tackle and forcing Lowndes into a punting situation. And the ball rolls into the end zone for a touchback. And the Wildcats begin with 7:30 to go in the third quarter there on the 20-yard line. First play is Joe Wright for about 7 yards. It was behind Giles Godwin. And this time we got no yards, but the Lowndes did a good job. And Alton Hitson makes a determined run right here for a first down. It's 1st and 10. And this time we fumble, or they knock it out of our hands. We're attempting to pass. But we recover the football. I think it was Joe Wright who made the recovery. And here's where lightning strikes, folks. This is Joe Wright behind Bucky Allen and Kendrick Patrick. And I think Joe picks up about 35 or 40 yards on that play. 1st and 10. Kendrick Patrick almost breaks loose for a touchdown, but he picks up 8 yards on that play. And this time Alton Hitson keeps the ball, but we don't get much yardage. They detected they were set pretty much to stop that. Matter of fact, we lost a yard or two. Kendrick Patrick drives off right tackle, and we make a first down. And that was behind Sean Alders, number 77. Give the ball to Kendrick again behind Sean Alders and Craig Hunt, number 82. And he makes several yards. And here Alton Hitson makes a nice run down inside the 10-yard line. And this time we give the ball to Kendrick Patrick, who picks up about 3 yards. Kendrick again, who picks up about 3 yards inside the 2. And this will be the touchdown. Kendrick Patrick scores from about 2 yards out. And for the first time in the game, the Cats go ahead. Now, I want you to look at the fine shot that Bill Muntz and his camera crew do right here, showing the crowd and the Valdosta fans, the cheerleaders, and the excitement that they feel on the sideline. I believe this was either Dow Drury or Alan Sanderson kicking off. And it was a squib kick type thing, and we had good coverage. There you see Ricky, number 93, Ricky Thomas, making a fine stop in there. And Larry Jester, Coach Larry Jester coaches Ricky and the defensive front. They do a good job. Here is Leroy Williams, number 22. He's coached by Keith Middleton. Leroy coaches our secondary. He does a fine job. And there's Leroy again, number 22, making that tackle. Leroy Williams, defensive back. There's a fumble. And it was caused, I believe, by number 45, Jonathan Davis. Recovered by, guess who? Leroy Williams, number 22. And that would have ended the third quarter. We go into the fourth quarter with a 9-7 lead. Again, notice the fine camera work of the VSC television crew headed by Bill Muntz. And we get a penalty there following a Joe Wright run and a tap. Notice the great blocking right there. Andy Sheffield cleared that way there, and Joe Wright made about a 25-yard run right there, and we get down inside the 10-yard line, pretty much near the 5. But Giles Godwin, Joe Wright, and those youngsters are in there. And here's a touchdown by Kendrick Patrick. And Albert Edmonds, number 33, was a lead blocker. And Andy Sheffield, Giles Godwin, and of course 73, Derek Phillips, Sean Alders, number 77. And of course the kick was by Dow Drury and held by Alton Hitson and snapped by Brian Sales. Now that's the way the score ended right there, with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, but it was 16-7. Here's a very, very wonderful moment where both teams, when the game ended, along with both sets of cheerleaders and many members of the band, gathered and had a word of prayer. And that's a great example, folks, for the way adults need to conduct themselves, and that example is set by our youngsters, Calvin, and I'm mighty proud of that.
Good. Coach, with the playoff rules like they are this year, then the Wildcats have this week off, and then they'll be playing the winner of what game?
Okay, this Friday night, tomorrow night, it'll be Evans from Augusta will be playing north side of Warner Robins in Warner Robins. Now, the winner of that game will come to Valdosta on the 23rd of next week from Friday night.
The night after Thanksgiving.
Night after Thanksgiving, to play our Valdosta Wildcats in the first round of a 4-week, 16-team state playoff tournament for the Quad A championship. So
another season has begun, and the Wildcats are once again in the state playoffs, and we wish them well.
Well, Phase 3, Phase 2 was 5 games in September, Phase 1. Phase 2, the region, another 5 games, very tough, and now then we start Phase 3, and hopefully we can stick with it, but hope is a good word, and our youngsters have worked hard to where they are right now, and we're mighty proud of all the support we get from our great community and the Touchdown Club and folks like yourself, Calvin.
Good. Our guests tonight include 2 Wildcat players, Joe Wright and Derek Cotton. Buck Blue will be visiting with his former teammate, Kenny Washington. Liz Foster has 2 co-captains from the cheerleading squad. And tonight is the annual presentation of the Touchdown Club's winner on the annual membership drive. We've got a good program planned for you tonight I think you'll enjoy. Well, we've given Scott Alderman the week off on Wildcat Trivia, but right now we want to salute the fans in the stands. And also our special guest, Colonel Wren Christie. Gentlemen, welcome again to Wildcat Tradition.
Thank you, Calvin.
Thanks, Calvin. Good to be aboard.
Dave, tonight is a special time for the Touchdown Club on Wildcat Tradition because we have been right in the middle of a membership drive, well, since before the beginning of the year, and we've had a pretty successful membership drive.
We did pretty well, Calvin. All in all, we have to be really pleased.
Good, and tonight is time for our results.
Yes, first I'd like to tell you a little bit about our contest that we had. For the second year in a row, the officers of the Board of Directors decided that they would like to sponsor a membership drive. And our treasurer, David Waller, divided the Board of Directors membership into 5 teams, each having a captain. Each member was assigned the task of trying to sell or sign up 20 members. And tonight we have the winning member with us. And I'm proud to present Colonel Wren Christie as our grand prize winner.
How many members was he able to get this year?
Somewhere in the 70s, Calvin. We kind of lost count with him, but I believe it really was around 78.
Good. So at this time, why don't you present his winning prize?
Well, it's Wildcat football that Colonel Christie, it's his second one actually, because he won one last year in the same contest, and he's going to have to add on to his bookcase. So, Colonel, for all the great things that you've done for the Touchdown Club, it's my privilege to present you with a Wildcat football. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dave. I'll give you my speech that I teach my students. It's T-C-U-T. Thanks. C is for credit. I'll give the credit to hard work and to the inspiration of my team there that you had assigned me to. By that I mean their activity, or maybe it was their inactivity, spurred me on because I knew I had to get out and do it. Thanks, credit, use. I will put this alongside the other one, or maybe give it to my little granddaughter who is an avid Wildcat fan. And thanks again for it. How do you win 1-2 years in a row? Well, I'll give you an old cliche. You get out and do like the Wildcats. You work hard. But when you're associated with a winning organization in Valdosta, like the Valdosta Wildcats, it rubs off on you. You want to be number one. So it was that wanting to be number one that did it. Now, a lot of folks think that because you're retired, you got nothing to do. Well, when you work for the Touchdown Club, the United Way, 3 or 4 jobs in the church, teach a course, etc., you've got plenty to do. But you do make time to go out and get members to support the team that has given Valdosta, Georgia, so much publicity and brought lots of probably industry and other things to our town, the Valdosta Wildcats. Thank you, sir, for this football.
Thank you,
Coach, this is just another one of the fine things that the Touchdown Club does throughout the year, and even another one is coming up this Thursday night.
Well, I'm very proud to be here and to be a part of this. Colonel Rian Christie and his lovely wife, Connie, and his beautiful granddaughter are always so inspirational when they come around and just are so kind to share some very tender moments with me on several occasions, and my wife and I are very grateful for that. As you mentioned, Calvin, this Thursday night, the Touchdown Club is want to do something the team, the coaches have been looking forward to, Dave, for some time now, and that's going to give us a real nice feed. Just a meal that we sit down and eat together, just have fun, no speeches, just get together, have fun, conversation, say hello to everybody, very informal, but a wonderful meal that we look forward to, and it's sponsored by the Touchdown Club. We'll have it right out there at school following practice. Of course, this week we're looking forward to it, and let me say, Dave, I really appreciate it, and you might want to comment on this phase because you've been highly instrumental in setting it up for us.
Well, I appreciate that, Coach. It's something that I'm really pleased with, quite frankly. It's a tradition that we're renewing from the past. It's our way of showing the team as a gesture how proud of them we are this year. And like you say, it's an opportunity for fellowship among the board of directors and the team. And it's something we're really pleased with, really excited.
Well, when you break bread together, as we do so often, it is a bond of friendship, or you use the term fellowship, and I think this is good. And I was so proud, Ren, to hear you mention about how you're able to win an award like this is that you want to. And isn't it great that we live in America where want and desires are something that comes deep within us personally, and we choose that attitude. We can choose to be lazy or we can choose to be energetic. And I'm proud that you inspire me by choosing to be energetic. And of course, it just happens to represent something that's very close to me when it comes to be the Valdosta Wildcats. And I guess some people are kind of afraid, but you just go out and knock on doors. You make phone calls and ask people to join. And I think I heard you say you seldom ever got turned down. Am I right? Most everyone you asked would want to join.
Well, after 2 years of doing it, Coach, and going back to some of the same people, they finally decided that I was going to pester the heck out of them if they didn't. So some of my good customers, or maybe I should say constituents, like the congressmen do, they finally realized that the shortest route between 2 points was to go ahead and join up. By the way, while I have the floor here, I wanted to, Connie, sent you this little thing of your picture. You look pretty mean in this picture, but it was in yesterday's paper saying that this Friday night is the first night that you've had off at this time of the year, at the end of the season, in 16 years, since you came here in '74. Well, you're talking about being motivated. It's that kind of winning, being competitive, and being in the region playoffs for 16 years, Coach. I want to give you this article, but I want to congratulate you on that.
Well,
that's a good model for all of us to follow, my friend.
Appreciate that, but we call it what this program stands for. We call it Wildcat Tradition, and it's a term, us, or we, and so many people of all ages, and we're so proud that this community and your family represents that, from your granddaughter clear to you and Connie, and all ages. Dave has a family, and his sons are very much involved in this. I know how anxious he's looking forward to those people. And of course, Calvin has a son that's played for the Wildcats and daughters that were in the band. And that's what you call Wildcat tradition. And my wife and I, of course, don't have children, but we are able to get involved with everyone else's youngster in one form or another, and tutoring and helping them get jobs and this type of thing, and just overall encouragement. And I think that's what we could call Valdosta. We might call it Encouragementville, because we care about each other around here.
I'd like to echo that, Coach. I could talk all night about Colonel Christie and what he means to our club. He's what you might call one of the Rainbow Coalition. No job is too large or too small for the Colonel. You can call on him, and he's always ready to help you out. He serves as an inspiration to the rest of the club, and I know Dr. Joe Crane is really proud because he's the one who sponsored Colonel Christie to become a part of our board just a few years ago, and he's really done an outstanding job, and he's really served as a model to the other board members. And he's made the job of me being president a lot easier, and I'm really grateful to have him on the board. And if there's anyone out in the audience who knows anybody like him, I'd sure appreciate him letting us know, because we'd like to add him to the board next year.
Well, that would be wonderful, Dave, because it's folks like this that make the Touchdown Club, in my strong feeling, or my deep feeling, the finest organization of its kind in America, and certainly one of the strongest in our community.
Coach, may I just say a word? While we are passing kudos around here, whatever kudos are, I think we need to give one to our Touchdown Club president, Dave McCracken. Dave has given us leadership 2 years in a row, and he's very well organized. He knows where he's going. He sets his goals, and he's like a bulldog after a cat. He goes out to get them, and it's Dave's prodding and his leadership that's responsible for all of this when you come right down to the nitty-gritty.
I agree with you, except for one thing. It's more like a cat after a bulldog, and we turn that one around a little bit. I think Dave does a wonderful job, and I've enjoyed working with all the Touchdown Club presidents, but each one has added something that was new and very nice for the Wildcats. And Dave, I must say that you right in there with the greatest, and I want to thank you for that, as Ren has brought this up. So I really mean that.
I appreciate the kind words coming from you both. I really do. It's a great honor.
Well, you gentlemen certainly stand for something that's unselfish, and that's what Touchdown Club. I appreciate you mentioning Rainbow Coalition, because you certainly represent that too, because we work with all economic levels of people and all the children of all the people in our community, and that's what the Wildcat football team, the cheerleaders, the band, and everyone represents, because that's what Valhalla High School is. It is the high school, the public high school for all the children of all the people in our community, and that's a little bit about what tradition is, Calvin.
That's exactly right. I understand we had another member born into the Wildcat family.
We sure did. We had a big event this past Monday. Kim and David Pipkin. Kim gave birth to a 7-pound, 12-ounce little girl on Monday, and we're real happy to welcome her to the Wildcat family. And if you see him around town, please give David the glad hand. He's an awfully proud papa.
Of course, Dave is one of our vice presidents.
He's a vice president,
of the Touchdown Club this year, right?
And doing an excellent job.
Listen, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for being with us again, and I want you to come back, and maybe one of those times will be when one of you win the award again next year.
Thank you for having us, Calvin.
Hit of the 5, turns the corner and goes into the end zone. They put the tee down at the 30, so it's going to be a 40-yard effort. There is some wind. We can watch the flag across the way. Got the distance, and it's good. 3:27 left in the first half. Vikings 7, the Cats 3. Joe Wright tries the right side. Got a couple of blockers into the 40, 45, at midfield, 35, 30, look out, 35, 30, come on down. Dixon calling signals. Rolls left, looks to block, tries to turn the corner at the 10. He's got the first down. Third down, Petrick, touchdown. From 2 yards out, Kendrick Petrick.
I tell you what, you can feel it now.
Vikings need to sustain a drive. The Cats need to stop them. Yeah. From the 35, Chris Wright, loose ball. Cats got it. First and goal, Petrick. Touchdown. He carried a couple of Vikings in the end zone with him. The thing that makes this game so special, they're having a game player prayer, a post-game prayer, and I don't know who is conducting, but there is hundreds of people participating in this one.
Really nice touch.